I thought I would take just a few minutes and give you a look inside of one of the tools that I use in my coaching business. When I'm hired to help a business grow, whether that's just growth or scaling, leveraged scaling, whatever that is related to growth, this is one of the tools that I use. There's actually there's three of them. But I want to show you this one because it starts with this from a conceptual point of view. You may or may not have seen me talk about this, which I'm about to, in person or on a webinar, maybe on a podcast, or perhaps you've read my book, Profitable Pathways. I'm going to see if I can say this simpler than I probably do in all those other cases, and that is, I believe, and I know because I've used and gotten clients results very quickly, that every business has access to profit levers. These are things inside the business that the business owner has access to and can identify, put a strategy to create action, and to move the needle in just small incremental ways on several different profit levers. I've identified that a business has roughly 30, and not every business is going to have all 30. Some are going to have levers that are more appropriate for their business than others. This is a simulation. So this is, like I said, the very beginning of a process. And this is to give us a quick view of what's possible in a business. And it's to get us thinking about what is going to be that year, that 12-month strategy. How are we going to get there? What does quarter one look like? Quarter two, quarter three, quarter four? This identifies, in this case, I have it randomized that of the 30 potential levers, it's going to select 8 randomly. And randomly, again, because I want to show this in a very realistic approach. You won't be able to move every profit lever the same amount. So it's going to vary. And that's why I have this variable field in here. So we're going to say that we're able to move randomly between 1 and 5%. Okay? So that's saying that we're identifying 8 strategies that we're going to affect positively between 1 and 5% each. Now, let's play with some numbers very quickly. Let's assume our business is called Ricky Bobby's Shake and Bake. And their annual revenue, let's say, is $750,000. And because they produce shake and bake, it's a physical product, they've got things that go into creating that, costs that go into it. So their cost of goods sold, rather, their gross profit margin is going to probably be 65%, somewhere in a band between 70 and 50. So 65%. And then let's just, for the simulation, let's just assume that at the end of the day, their net margin is 20%. Let's see what happens. Okay, so first things first. At the top, you see all these yellow bars. These are each of those 8 areas that the system randomly chose as levers that this business could affect. And they're at different lengths for a few reasons. The biggest one is that the percentage was randomly assigned. Not every lever is going to move at 5% or 1%. They're going to move throughout. That's why you see some that are probably at the top end here and some that are more in the middle. The interesting thing is, and I don't have my calculator, but I can tell you this fairly certain, that each strategy individually, so these are the improvements of revenue, the improvements of profit. If you added each one of these up, it wouldn't equal 166,000. It would actually equal something less than that. The reason that the profit impact is 166,238 in this case is that the system is stacking these in a way that is going to generate the biggest results. So that compounding action. We do one and the next one starts at a level higher because of the benefit that we got from doing the first thing. So the system is generating a gazillion different situations in their calculation, and they're coming up with the best possible order and sequence to get the biggest result. So that's why if you looked at doing these 8 things in isolation and you said, okay, I did this one, I got a 2% increase in my business, I'm going to do this one, I'm going to get a 3%, so let's add them together. In real life, it doesn't work like that. So I just want to point it out for anybody that might be pausing this video and adding all of these up. Most definitely there'll be some number less than this. So Ricky Bobby has $750,000 in revenue. Right now, they're on target to increase that revenue by $255,000. So they go from 3/4 to roughly $1 million, which is a 34% increase in the revenue. Now, interesting enough, their current profit is $150,000. The increase at the end of 12 months we're predicting would be $166,000. That's an increase. That's on top of the 150. So their projected profit at the end of year 1 is $316,000, which is a growth in profit of 110%. The system is generating this as if we were implementing these in a particular order over the course of a year. So at the end of the year, we would expect conservatively, and I say conservatively because these percentages are conservative. And another time we can get into industry averages in terms of what we've seen companies actually improve by using these different levers. But I do know that 1 to 5% is a conservative approach. So in essence, what this is showing, and what this would be telling you and I if we were sitting together, is after a year of working together, we would expect to take your business at least from $750,000 to $1 million in revenue, at least. More important to that is the profit in my mind, and that's taking it from $150,000 to $316,000, doubling the profit in essence. Now, this last little box here is important, and it's really just for this initial discussion, and that is, if you know me, you know I believe that coaching or consulting I view as an investment, not an expense. What's the difference? Well, an expense is something you pay and you don't expect any future value from. Your cell phone bill, your internet service, your gas you put in your car, that type of thing. Whereas an investment, like an asset, will pay dividends. So in this case, we're saying that if my fee was $25,000, that based on this 12-month roadmap, that investment would generate a 565% return. I don't know of a stock, a mutual fund, Bitcoin, index, you name it, that the average person can purchase and see that kind of return. That's the beauty of owning your own business. That's the beauty of being able to control your destiny. And so at the very beginning of a relationship, we'll go through this. And this is one of the reasons why we do this at the very beginning. Because if that ROI is not 2x, at least 2x of our consulting fees, then it doesn't make sense for us to work with the client. And this is so we can honestly tell people that if we work together, you will get a return greater than 2 times your investment. Anyway, I hope this was helpful and not confusing. I know I bounced around a little bit, but this is just one of the tools when I'm hired to help a business generate more revenue, generate more profit, do these things without the owner having to burn the candle at both ends. So much more to talk about with things like this. If you'd like to see this run hypothetically on your business, let me know. DM me, email me, whatever's easiest for you. And I would absolutely sit with you and just kind of go through this pretty quick for your business so you can kind of see what potentially is possible. So if you're interested, just send me a message. As always, I do this for the betterment of small businesses. I appreciate you all.